Well, guys, the Nintendo Direct was today, and I can't believe it. I have to eat my own words here. It wasn't Banjo. Banjo's not the. Oh, wait a second. I'm just getting a. I'm finishing the Direct now, and it's Banjo. Oh, it's Banjo. That's right. That's right. A lot of us were right. A lot of us who believed the leaks were right. This is one instance where believing the leaks was right. But in my last video, I tried to give some evidence as to why I believed the leak. It wasn't just that I just want it to be real, or this is a leak and this guy might have insider information. No, a lot of times leaks aren't real, and this was one that had a lot of credibility behind it, with multiple people saying it. Pretty much everyone who had other leaks correct were saying it. So people who got a lot of things right were saying it, and holy shit, here we go. It was real. Banjo and Erdrick were both presented. I remember a lot of us were saying they might show two characters, and even I was saying it's possible they would show two characters, and they showed two during Nintendo's Direct. And when they started the Direct with a Smash Bros. Character, I was kind of like, okay, there's a chance we still might get Banjo later. But let's talk about this. When they first showed the character, I was like, wow, I did not expect him. Maybe the leaks were total bullshit. But then Erdrick did appear. And what's funny is that a lot of people were very unclear on who the Square Enix character would be. And that's because this is really four characters. It's not just one. But I want to go ahead and talk about the actual details of this character, because there's a lot of confusion about how this character actually works. First of all, his name is the Hero, which is really weird to me because you would think he would be named like, something else, anything else. You know, even Joker is named Joker in this game. They don't. Robin is named Robin. They don't. Player avatar characters normally have a default name, and so the fact that they named him Hero is really bizarre to me. But it kind of makes sense because the other characters are all costumes. They're not Echo Fighters or whatever else. They are costumes. And let me explain how I know this. Well, first of all, the idea of having multiple echoes for one character just makes no sense. That's not how any of the other ones have worked. I know a lot of people like to make fun of the fact that Marth, Lucina, Roy, and Chrom are all basically the same character, but the reality is it's two characters who both have echoes, and that's why there's four of them. And when you look at it, they all fight different enough to where it makes sense that Marth and Lucina are echoes of each other, and Roy and Chrom are echoes of each other. But this character is an alt costume with this character's one character with three alt costumes, making up a total of four characters in one. Now think about it. It's four alt skins, which would mean that you have a total of 8 color schemes in Smash, which basically means that there will be an alternate color for each version because there's four of them, right? Because there's four of them, there will be one alt color for each version of the character. So making a total of 8 colors. So this is actually really smart, and I did not expect to see this. I never thought they would do a bunch of characters all from one franchise, all in one character. Basically, a lot of people have been calling this character the Hero, but I've been calling him Dragon Quest because this character just is Dragon Quest. Like, he's the entire franchise. Like, imagine if Cloud had a whole bunch of other Final Fantasy characters wrapped into that one character. I mean, you kind of can't do it, but with Dragon Quest, because the hero, the main character, always is like the same class and always fights very similarly, they actually could. Instead, think of it like this. Think of it as like if Marth had like a bunch of variations of different Fire Emblem main characters. They could have done that. I'm glad they didn't. But because this isn't a Nintendo franchise, it's a Square Enix franchise, it's very unlikely there will be another Dragon Quest character at all. So the fact they're doing multiple Dragon Quest characters, all this one character, really unique and really a cool idea. They have different swords, but and I think some of them have different shields. I can't tell, but for the most part, it looks like they fight exactly the same. They have the same moves, and this is why I also would say they're not echoes. They have the same exact moves, but of course, echoes do that too. What also separates echoes, because characters like Lucina and Marth are, they have mostly the same moves. The only difference is the effect of the sword, right? But Lucina also has different victory animations and different taunts. What these characters, we already know these characters all have the same up, like putting their sword up in the sky taunt, because you could see all four of them do it together at one point. But we also know that these characters have the same voices. They have the same exact voice. None of them have a different voice. They all have the same exact voice. So to me, if they have the same taunts and the same voices, then it's a guarantee that they're not echoes of each other. It's guaranteed. Uh, and the funny thing is, we already know that skins can have different voices because Bowser Jr. as well as Ike they have different voices for different skins, right? So these characters still have the same exact voices for all the same skins. They have the same height, same weight, same everything. So what's the difference between these characters? Well, the way the trailer is set up is it makes it look like the skins have different moves. And I watched this trailer multiple times because I really was confused about it. In fact, I watched it saying, "Is there even a Dragon Quest stage? Or are they going to show us that later?" Well, they actually did show the Dragon Quest stage. It was only for like 1 second though. Which, by the way, the opening trailer was really badass with Link and fighting Marth and Meta Knight by himself, and then the hero from Dragon Quest had to show up to help him. Really cool stuff. But the thing is that the way it seems to look is that if you hit one of the buttons, I'm assuming down B, that will change your moves. And it looks like it'll change your standard B because when Erdrick did it, yeah, because Erdrick's in the game after all. When Erdrick did it, one of the first option was Sizzle, which is like a fire move. And it looks like he has a fire move that you can charge and shoot up that'll turn into a giant fireball. So that's what the hero was doing. So from the newest Dragon Quest, which I want to say is 9, it might be. It's either 9 or I think it's 9 because I don't think 10 ever came out. I should probably look into that before I start saying false information. Because I think the Dragon Quest character from 8 is the one with the yellow jacket and the red bandana. I could be wrong about this. I don't play Dragon Quest games. This is kind of what I remember. Because I know that Dragon Quest 8 came out on 3DS eventually at one point. So the other character, I've just been calling him Fish Boy because he has a fish armor set. Don't hate me if you like Dragon Quest, but you have to understand the majority of us here who play Smash don't really know Dragon Quest. Even the ones of us who like play a lot of JRPGs don't really play Dragon Quest games. So I don't know everything about Dragon Quest. Everything I know about Dragon Quest comes from Fortune Street and comes from Dragon Quest Heroes, okay? Which is like the Dynasty Warriors style game. So I don't know stuff about the actual Dragon Quest, lore. But I do know that Erdrick is playable, which is really damn cool. And a lot of people were saying it would be Erdrick. A lot of people were saying Erdrick is the most iconic of the main ones, of the main characters. And in this this video, it very clearly demonstrated that Erdrick was kind of set higher above them. He was kind of being shown as like the Marth of the series, where he's kind of like really big and really important character. He was standing above the rest of them. So I think these other ones are just kind of like characters who just kind of exist. But because they all play the same, it makes sense for them to all be skins. However, it is possible that these skins have different moves, and that would mean these should be echoes. They should probably be echoes. But I'm also not sure how it works. I'm really not sure how it works at all because I couldn't figure out watching the video what the up Bs are, what the side Bs are, what the down Bs are. Like, I really was confused about a lot of these. And I think what happens when you hit down B, it changes your normal B attack. So, and also there's an MP gauge to factor in as well, meaning you can't just spam different special moves. So I'm thinking that your standard B will be your normal B attack, will be your move that uses your MP, with your down B being the move that changes your standard B attack, with your up B and forward B being something that's always there no matter what. So very confused exactly on how this character works. I think a lot of people are. I think a lot of us just need to wait for Game Explain to try to figure this out, but I think even they are going to be a little stumped here and say, it could mean this or this. Because the idea of calling it down the middle, saying this is exactly how it's going to be and whatnot, I think is a little far-fetched. I don't think it's going to be exactly easy to call here. But we'll have to see. And all in all, really happy that Erdrick is in, because I think Erdrick's got the best design of the 4 that they chose, with the main hero from the newest Dragon Quest having the second best design. So I'm probably going to be playing one of those two. But I gotta say, looking at his moveset, he reminds me of Link and Robin. It's kind of like he has Link's A attacks, or maybe even somewhat similar to Fire Emblem characters like Roy. Looks like he's got some big hits. His forward A looks like Link's like tilt attack, You know, his forward smash looks like his tilt, but it looks really good. His back air looks really fucking good. He's got some good looking moves. So his A attacks are looking super good. Oh yeah, his up B I think is that tornado move where he shoots like two tornadoes down below him and he pops up that way. So I think that will be his up B, and that's the thing. Like, it's really hard to gauge what these characters' moves are and how it will all work. But I will say this: I will say it definitely looks like that little animation where they were picking moves like for him to do. That seems to be like a down B kind of thing. It didn't seem like that was just a thing that's they've put in over the video. It seems like that was actual in gameplay, and normally they never put stuff in these videos that aren't the actual gameplay. It's also the only time we ever saw the heads up display. It showed the MP bar, and every other time we showed this character in action, there was no heads up display information. So there was no like lives, damage percentage, or MP bar, for example. So I think the MP bar will always be there. Now, I think what they're going to do is right before the character comes out, like the week the character comes out, they're going to do the same thing they did with Joker. And when they do that, they'll show all the skins, how it works, how this character plays, how they'll go really into detail about how this character works, and we'll see more of the stage, and we'll also see Mii Fighter costumes. If we see the return of the Chocobo hat and we see the return of the Geno costume, then it basically confirms Mii Fighter costume theory, which would mean that there's a likelihood chance that the next two characters might be from Capcom and Namco. So, at least Capcom. And considering that literally every Resident Evil game is coming to the Switch, I think, and the fact that Capcom and Nintendo just have an amazing buddy-buddy, sucky-sucky relationship right now, I think it's very likely that a character from Resident Evil will be the next DLC character, and that's what I'm banking on right now. My most highly predicted character, the character I think has the most highest chance of being in the game, whether it be the next character or any character at all, whether it be the next or the last character, I will say will be Leon. And when you look at how many skins the characters from Dragon Quest are getting, I think it's very likely that we could see a skin for Leon that changes Leon into a different character. But I don't think it'll be a skin. I think it'll be more like an Echo Fighter, where in that way they can do something like Jill. And some people, even I would say Chris or Claire would also work as Echo Fighters. But with Leon, it's so possible to have a Echo Fighter with this character. And when you look at Simon and Richter, it's very clear that these characters don't have to actually canonically be best friends. Like, when you look at Ryu and Ken, sure, these characters like are best buds, and it's fun that they're both in the game together fighting as a team. But when you look at Simon and Richter, these characters never met each other. They don't know each other at all. They have nothing to do with each other. So it's not like the Echo Fighter has to be someone that Leon knows and fought with personally. Like, Leon knows Chris and he knows Claire. I don't know if he really knows Jill. But they can put Jill in here and it'll be fine. So I think that's totally a thing. I think they could totally do that. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But that's what I'm thinking. And yeah. So anyway, before we stop, I do want to talk about the fact that I want to just call him Erdrick because Erdrick's one of the skins, but calling him the hero in Dragon Quest Boy is what I've been trying to do. But I want to just call this character Erdrick. But basically, Erdrick and or the hero and or the Dragon Quest characters are all coming out in the summer, which makes me believe that my prediction is that they will come out at the end of July. I don't think they're going to come out in the beginning of July or the end of June. I think we're going to have to wait a little bit longer for that. But I do think that they will be out in July. And the reason why I'm saying the month July is because they already said that Banjo comes out in September. So if he comes out in July, then that would mean that they could go all of August without a new character and just have no updates, just have the game be fine. And then at the end of September, we could get Banjo as well. So I'm thinking July for this character, and then in September, Banjo. So now I want to move on to talking about Banjo and Kazooie, who a lot of people were saying was deconfirmed during the Microsoft event when they didn't show him. But it's not like they showed Erdrick in the Dragon Quest characters during the Square Enix event, and I was sitting there being like, maybe they'll show that during the Square Enix event and save Banjo for the Nintendo event. No, they showed both characters because it's for a Nintendo game. It's on the Nintendo system, and Nintendo wanted that hype of having both of them. So, yeah, everyone who said Banjo wasn't happening, get wrecked. Just get fucking wrecked. So a lot of people were saying Banjo was definitely not happening. A lot of people trying to cast a lot of doubt. And here I was saying, well, it is scary that they didn't show him during Microsoft, but it's not like he's out yet. And even when they showed the Dragon Quest characters, I said, ugh, that's scary, but this was literally the first thing they showed. And call me crazy, but there's a chance they could show Banjo at the very end. But I wasn't really holding my breath. I was actually kind of like, Banjo's might not happen this time. And I actually didn't know how to feel about that because I was calling it, and it kind of made me look bad when I was calling it and getting it wrong. Also, before any of this leak stuff happened, where I was saying, hey, we can believe this leak, before any of that stuff happened, I actually said Banjo was the most likely character on my DLC tier list. I said it twice, that he was the most likely character of any of them, saying it's a fact. It's saying it's so likely it hurts that we're probably going to get Banjo and Kazooie in the game. And so, getting that right at the very end when I lost hope was really rewarding for me. It really hyped me up, got me really excited. Not to mention seeing Secret of Mana 3, seeing Secret of Mana it's getting a Trials of Mana is getting a remake, but also you can buy all Secret Mana games on Switch right now, including that Trials of Mana game, the original version, because the original version was only in like Japan, and I always had to play it with an English translation on an emulator. But I loved playing it as a kid on that emulator. I loved playing it. I put it on my hacked Super Nintendo Classic because I love that game so much. So I cannot wait for that remake. I cannot wait for No More Heroes 3. It looks goddamn amazing. The new Platinum game that we saw that one direct is looking, the comments looking really good. So that weird like cop robot game looking really good. I'm really excited for that one. That one looks good. The Zelda game, Link's Awakening, looks fucking amazing. And I played Link's Awakening, but I don't think I've ever beat it. I did beat Oracle of Ages. I can't remember if it was Ages or Seasons, but I did beat one of the Oracle games, and I never beat Link's Awakening. But I played it. I just never beat it. So really looks good, and I really do like. I really am excited for that. And then, of course, at the very very end, after Banjo, they showed that they're going to do a sequel to Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, which I don't know if it's going to be more of the same. But if it's more of the same with a brand new map to explore, with a few more gimmicks and mechanics added in to spice up the gameplay, make it a little bit different, then I'm all for this game. I'm all for this game because Breath of the Wild was amazing. We all know it. But I also want to mention really quickly, Luigi's Mansion 3 has two-player co-op. It has 8-player co-op when it comes to local or online, because if you have two on the same console, they can play as Goo Luigi. And my god, just making games 2-player, it just makes it so much more fun, especially in a game that's a puzzle game with a top-down view. So I'm really excited for Luigi's Mansion 3. I am really excited. Like I'm no joke. I think it's going to be a game I buy day one. I like, it looks so good, and I cannot wait to play this game. I'll play it by myself. I'll play it with my friends. I'll play the multiplayer shit. Like, I am just pumped for this game. It's looking better than I could have expected. I didn't think Luigi's Mansion 3 was going to, like, I thought it was going to be a solid game, but this looks really fucking good. So Nintendo is just knocking it out of the park here. And honestly, they even sold me a little bit on the new Dragon Quest game, Dragon Quest 9. It actually looks really good too. Though I know it's coming to like everything. Kind of looking at, actually I think it's already out, but I haven't played it yet. So maybe I'll get the Switch version, or maybe I won't. I don't know. I'll just give it a chance. But yeah, it looks good too. So lots of stuff looking really damn good in this direct. But now let's talk about Banjo really fast. Banjo is looking like normal. What I mean is that he doesn't have a bunch of weird gimmicks. A lot of the other characters, like Inkling, has a gimmick. Uh, you know, then Incineroar kind of has like a weird gimmick to him too with that counter move. Who else did they introduce? Most of the other characters weren't like gimmicks. They're gameplay stuff, like Isabel with the fishing hook, K. Rool and Ridley with K. Rool having the armor, Ridley having that weird stabby move. Um, and then who else? Simon and Richter having like weird projectiles and like the whip and stuff. Those were like special, unique gameplay styles for them that weren't super gimmicky. Banjo looks like one of those characters where he's not super gimmicky. He looks like a character who's just going to work, get the job done, and play the game well. I kind of predicted a long time ago that he would have punches for his A attacks, and he would like have a lot of Kazooie style attacks be his B attacks. Looks like his down B will be like laying out bombs. That's a move I've seen. So I didn't grow up with Banjo Kazooie. I just really pushed this character because it just to me it made the most logical sense. And that's I'm not about pushing characters that I personally love or know. I'm about pushing characters that make logical sense. When I was pushing Joker, it was a character that I really loved, but it was a character that I said, "Hey, the stars are kind of aligning for this character." Um, Banjo, I was like, kind of noticed, hey, the stars were kind of aligning for Banjo right now because of all the Microsoft stuff. It's actually not far off. It's not that unlikely at all. So yeah, and also with Dragon Quest with Erdrick, I kind of made a point of saying it's very possible. Mainly, when you look at games like Fortune Street on the Wii, where it's a game with Mario and Dragon Quest characters in it, and how much Square Enix has been pushing Dragon Quest lately, it makes a lot of sense they would want to put Dragon Quest in Smash. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense, especially if they had to do that to get Cloud back in or something like that. If Square Enix got to pick who they wanted to push, and Final Fantasy was already in the game, it would make sense they would want to have Cloud from Final Fantasy as well as Dragon Quest characters. So it makes a lot of sense Square Enix would do it this like this. It would be really cool if we got more Final Fantasy content as far as Mii Fighter stuff and maybe music that comes out with the Dragon Quest stuff, but I don't think that's what they're gonna do. I think all the new content will be, while they might have some Square Enix related stuff, I think most of it will not have anything to do with Final Fantasy and it'll be mostly focused on Dragon Quest. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Either way, um, when it comes to Banjo, I said, Banjo will have B attacks be mostly Kazooie's attacks. So Banjo's got bombs that come out. He can Kazooie can take and run forward while Banjo's upside down. So it's like a role reversal where Kazooie's the main one, and Banjo's the secondary one. Um, and then of course they even have the little green little button thing that you stand on in Banjo Kazooie that lets Kazooie do a big huge jump to do the up B. So the up B isn't quite like Duck Hunt's up B. It's very different. A lot of people are saying Banjo Kazooie would might fight too similarly to Duck Hunt because Duck Hunt has a lot of projectiles and the up B is just them flying. No, they stayed very faithful to the way Banjo Kazooie would play from the actual game, and managed to keep them very unique to their own character. It does look a little bit like a hodgepodge of a few different aspects, and the projectiles and stuff definitely look like similar to any zoning character, but Banjo looks like he could be pretty good as an up close brawler style, sort of like Mario as well, because he has a running gun attack where he shoots eggs with Kazooie, but then he can grab Kazooie and run forward with Kazooie in his arms. It looks like it might be like Joker's gun attack, where Joker can aim his gun in different ways, but only after you do like the first standard shot. It might be like that, where you can't run till you shoot it once, because I think it's going to be a neutral B attack. Because I think forward B will be where he runs with Kazooie. Though there is some gimmick with Banjo Kazooie, because I think there's going to be something involving the feathers. So I'm not exactly sure. I think the feathers will let Kazooie run differently. We'll have to see. But they so far made it look like it's not too gimmicky. All I do want to say is that Banjo Kazooie's stage looks wild. It's like you're fighting on a platform that's spinning around. Like, wow, that's crazy. But it kind of makes sense because he's from a 3D platformer, so the stage would be a 3D stage. And I think that every so often the stage will change, like a bridge will come out and stuff like that. So, I think Game Explain needs to make a video about both these characters, about Dragon Quest and about Banjo Kazooie. But, it's going to be really fun to have Banjo fighting characters like Mario, Sonic, and other 3D platform characters, and it's going to be a lot of fun to have characters like Erdrick and the Dragon Quest main characters fighting characters from Fire Emblem, Persona 5, and Final Fantasy 7. It's going to be, and even Link, any character who's from like an RPG game, even though a lot of people don't consider Zelda to be an RPG, it is sort of an RPG in some ways. So, yeah, it's going to be really fun to have all these JRPG characters duking it out, with all these 3D platformer characters duking it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, as far as who I'm predicting next, again, I already said Leon. I really am banking on Leon. I've kind of dropped Scorpion. I don't think Scorpion's going to happen. And I think the last character will probably be a Namco character, and it'll probably be the most filler character. Whether they choose Heihachi or Lloyd, I don't think will be as hype. But Dragon Quest is also kind of a filler character, so. To be fair, I wanted Lloyd in Smash 4. I thought he would have been a good fit in Smash 4. So I'm not gonna say I don't want Lloyd now. I want Lloyd. I do like Tales games, and Tales of Symphonia is probably the best one. Lloyd is kind of like the Cloud of the Tales franchise. There's a new Tales game that was shown off during the Xbox. I want to call it Direct, but the Xbox conference for E3. So it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I think now all we have to do is wait for Sony's conference and see what the PS5 looks like. They're doing it like Nintendo, where it's just like a direct video. But I mean, honestly, I don't give a shit. That's fine. And it could be really cool because Sony always kind of shows some games that Xbox doesn't show. Xbox shows games that PlayStation doesn't show. So could be really cool. And I don't think we'll see. We might see a new Resident Evil at PlayStation's event. We might see a new something or other at PlayStation's event. Might not have much pertaining to what we're seeing here. Like for the Nintendo Direct. So, but I'm gonna end this video now, right here, right now, because I honestly talked about all the Nintendo stuff in this video, everything I care about at least. And all I really wanted this video to be about was about the Smash content, not about the rest of the stuff. Just want to talk about the Smash content. But we'll see more. We'll see more about these characters, and yeah, it does, as characters come out, it does change who the predictions are for the next few characters, and we'll see. The only thing is now is that if Vergibin had said Minecraft content is coming and a Square Enix character is coming, well, with Banjo, we could possibly have Minecraft content with Mii fighters. And with Erdrick being in the game, as well as the other Dragon Quest characters, I told you I'm going to keep calling him Erdrick. That means that a Square Enix character did come into the game. So Vergibin has been right. However, Vergibin, while he's completely right, everything he said has happened already. We are at the point where we can't look to him anymore for predictions unless he hears something else. So, keeping an eye on Vergibin is a good idea. However, he doesn't just only talk about Smash, and he knows, he only knows what he knows. So, while he got some stuff right, we still don't know the rest. He might not have a contact with Capcom, he might not have a contact with Namco, but he should be looking at those because we might find out who the next character is. However, when they showed Joker in Smash for 1 second and they talked about the 3.0 update for Smash and said it's coming soon, that same direct, they showed all this Dragon Quest stuff to the point where I was thinking, wow, they might just reveal Dragon Quest content for Smash right here and now because they showed all this Dragon Quest content. This time, during the E3 Direct, they made a point to show a little trailer for people playing Resident Evil in a spooky location, and then saying Resident Evil 5 and 6 are also coming to Switch. So, I'm just saying, it seems to be like Nintendo pushed Dragon Quest really hard, and then we got a Dragon Quest character. Now they're pushing Capcom really hard, and they're pushing Resident Evil very hard, and I think it's because Resident Evil is coming to Smash, and boy howdy. If putting Dragon Quest in Smash is a good idea because it represents old school JRPGs, Resident Evil is the face of survival horror games. I'm sorry, I know Ryu's the face of fighting games, but Capcom also has the face of horror games with Resident Evil. So I'm just saying, putting Leon in the game, oh, you could totally do it, my boys. You could totally do it. Give him an alt skin so he could have this police uniform, or his Resident Evil 4 uniform, where he was wearing like the brown jacket and everything. And then you could even do a fucking Echo Fighter. But if Leon gets in at all and he doesn't have an Echo Fighter, I won't care. I won't bitch as long as he has the police uniform from 2 and the new uniform from 4, or like the new like costume he has in 4. If he has those two costumes, then I'm fine with no Echo. But I just think with Resident Evil, there's a chance for an Echo. So I'm gonna end the video here. That's all I can say about Smash and these characters. And fuck, dude, I'm fucking excited. They actually did it. They actually put a rare character in Smash. They actually put a character in that's technically owned by Microsoft in Smash. The Smash will never be the same. And you know, I know it's the end of the video, but when I first watched Etika, I'd seen clips of him many times, and I've watched some of his videos sometimes, but I didn't really care who he was. The first time I really watched Etika, and like decided I really liked this guy and subscribed to him, was when Cloud came out. I just wanted to see all these different people's reactions to Cloud because it was, to me, as a Final Fantasy VII fanboy, it made me really excited to see this. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm really happy for the remake too, but this is just not the time or place to talk about it. It was really made me really happy to see Cloud in Smash, and Etika made a video about it where he said, "Don't you guys understand? Anything can happen. The fans wanted Cloud, and Cloud happened. Anything can happen." And he said that means Banjo could happen. Etika said this so long ago. Said Banjo can happen, and I agree. Banjo can happen. You know, I said Sakurai can make anything happen. I mean, if he can get Cloud, he can make it all happen. And then when Smash Ultimate happened and everyone is here happened and everyone from the past games were back in, it was very clear. Sakurai can make anything happen. If he wants to do it, he can do it. So, yeah, we got Cloud and we got Banjo. And now you can make Cloud fight Banjo while fucking Bayonetta watches, while you have a team of Ryu and Ken together. I mean, anything is possible. Anything is possible. So, unless a character is deconfirmed by being an assist trophy already, rest in peace, Isaac and Shadow. But that being said, it's so damn cool that Banjo's coming. There's nothing cooler and more hype than Banjo, okay? And I'm saying this as a non-Banjo fan, because this is a character that used to be owned by Nintendo, that was on the Nintendo 64, that was planned to be in Smash at one point, and fucking, you know, maybe not got that far in the development stages, but he was on the N64. People say Banjo-Kazooie is the best 3D platformer ever made. You know, I didn't grow up with it, but in like high school, one of my friends told me it was better than Mario 64, and I was like, really? And I was like, my friend really likes it, but really, you're saying it's better than Mario 64? And I went and played it on my friend's Xbox 360 and was like, wow, this game's really, it really is good. I still like Mario 64 more, but this game's really damn good. I see why people like it so much. And then I started watching JonTron, and JonTron was so about Banjo-Kazooie. JonTron was like, this is my favorite game. I would watch them play it on Game Grumps. I watched them play it on Oni Plays and all that stuff. So yeah, I really got familiar with Banjo. And even though, again, I didn't grow up with it, it's not my favorite franchise ever. For a lot of people, they really love it. They really love Rare. They think Rare is really important, really cool. I mean, I like Rare because I like Battletoads. I like Rare. I like Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Country 64. I like Rare. I like Rare. I just, you know, Banjo's just not my favorite when it comes to Rare games, but Banjo, you know, in Smash, a character that used to be owned by Nintendo, who's now owned by Microsoft, and Nintendo, Microsoft, and Rare all coming together to make this a possibility. That's just a beautiful thing, man. I'm sorry, but that's a win for everyone. So anyone who complains about these characters in Smash because you didn't want Fire Emblem, or sorry, you didn't want fucking, I'm so used to people bitching about Fire Emblem. You didn't want Dragon Quest characters because Dragon Quest characters are blah 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 stupid. You don't like them, and that's another sword character. Even though whatever, if it's not another sword character, it's gonna be someone else. You know, it's gonna be like another brawler character. So what's the fucking difference, in my opinion? And you know, yeah, swords have disjointed hitboxes, but so do any characters with tails or long arms. So Yoshi has a disjointed hitbox, and Donkey Kong has a disjointed hitbox. So it actually doesn't fucking matter. All it matters is that they have a little bit more reach than other characters like Ryu and Ken. But it doesn't matter anyway because Ryu and Ken are also fucking super good, and you can just do A up B and kill someone at 100%, and it's fucking ridiculous. So who the fuck cares? It's called advantages. It's called pros and cons for every character in the game. Okay. Get over it. But anyway, If you don't like that because you wanted Sora and you're not getting Sora, well, I wanted Sora too, and we're probably not getting Sora. I think Sora has been hard deconfirmed at this point. Well, Sora always had a wobbly chance in the first place. Again, I don't think Sora is impossible for the future, but I think for this Smash game, I think we're not getting Sora this time. I think, again, not impossible for the future, and Sora was never an impossible choice, but I think Square Enix just wanted Erdrick more. I think Square Enix wanted Dragon Quest more. And I don't fault them for that because Dragon Quest is a much bigger franchise in the sense that there's a lot of spin-off games and stuff like that. In fact, I actually am looking at Dragon Quest Builders like kind of want to play it. It looks really fucking good. In fact, it looks like it blows Minecraft out of the water because it's so different with more focus on RPG combat and harvesting and stuff like that as well. So that looks like a lot of fun. Looks like Stardew Valley more so than Minecraft, and that excites me. Anyway, um, when it comes to Dragon Quest, it's a huge franchise with lots of spin-offs, and I think it's getting a movie too. When it comes to Dragon Quest, it makes a lot of sense for Square Enix to want that in over Sora, and also for the Japanese audience, it might be more hype for them than Sora, especially because Kingdom Hearts didn't really do anything that big in between 2 and 3. There was a bunch of stupid handheld games that people didn't really like that much, besides Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop. The rest were all kind of iffy. So I'm sad there's no Sora, but it doesn't mean Sora's impossible for the future. Just means probably not for Smash Bros. Ultimate, unless they do a season 2 DLC later. If they do a season 2, I'll lose my shit because that means Master Chief and Sora have a chance. But as for right now, I think Master Chief and Sora were deconfirmed, and also they didn't make as much sense and weren't as likely as characters like Banjo and characters like Dragon Quest characters. So if you are upset about the DLC, I really think you're just being a bitch. And I wouldn't say it right lightly. I don't say it lightly. I wouldn't call people who would potentially give me subscribers and potentially share my videos bitches often. But the reason why I would call you guys bitches, and you can thumbs down the video all you want, is because there's so many characters in this fucking game. Like, how entitled and whiny and needy do you have to be? There's so many characters. You don't like any of them? You can't play a single one of these characters? You don't want to play Mega Man? You don't want to play Sonic? I understand a lot of people don't like Sonic. But what about fucking, just other classics like Link? You didn't like Legend of Zelda, you want to play as Link? What about characters that just play well because of functionality? Like, you don't want to play a character that, like Diddy Kong, because, or like a character like Pichu, who play super well. You don't want to play a character that's just fun for you to play, even though they maybe not be top tier, but you just like how they play. Like, you don't want to play these characters? Like, what's wrong with you? Do you just not like Smash? Like, do you just not like Super Smash Bros? Like, it doesn't make sense to complain about DLC. I'm sorry. I know I'm a stand for Smash Bros and all, but I'm just saying, logically, the only way it makes sense to complain about the characters is to be a whiny little bitch. Because what character could you really be wanting that bad who's not already in the game? Like, for me, I couldn't even, like, even before Joker, I was saying, no matter who they put in, I can't complain because Snake and Cloud are two of my favorite video game characters of all time, and they're in. And I grew up thinking Mega Man and Sonic were some of the best games ever made, and they're in. And I'm a huge fighting game fan, and Ryu is in. So no matter what, I can't bitch, because Smash 4 already had all my favorite games covered. And then when it comes to, when Joker was put in, it was like that would probably be my most highly requested character. And guess what? He's in. And even if he wasn't in, again, I still can't moan and bitch because Cloud and Snake are in. Like, I just can't. I love Cloud and Snake, and they're in. I don't even play them. I play Link. I play Ken from Street Fighter. I play Pokemon Trainer. It doesn't, because I just like playing Smash. And I like these characters. So you literally just cannot bitch. If you don't like Banjo, what the fuck is wrong with you in the first place? Like, oh, he's irrelevant. So is K. Rool. So is Ridley. So is fucking Incineroar. And about when the next Pokemon game comes out, Incineroar is going to be irrelevant. Who cares? It didn't matter. Simon and Richter are fucking irrelevant. The people who are saying that Banjo wouldn't happen because it's an irrelevant franchise, when fucking Castlevania got put in, you people are stupid. You are stupid. You don't pay attention. And that's what it really is. You're not it's not that you're low intelligence. It's that you just don't pay attention. You're not observant, but you're confidently speaking your mind and running your mouth. You don't know what you're talking about. You need to listen to people who are like spending a lot of time observing what this game is doing, observing what is being put in. What doesn't matter are characters who only are on Nintendo. What doesn't matter are characters who are new and relevant. What doesn't matter are any of that stuff. What matters are characters who are requested, characters who are important into gaming history in general, like Castlevania and Banjo. Those are characters. Those are games that are important for gaming as a whole. What matters are characters that could happen because Nintendo has a good relationship with that company. That's how it works. So yeah, that's what matters. What doesn't matter are what people are bitching about. When people say Minecraft Steve makes more sense, I know a lot of people are just trolling, but some people actually really want Minecraft Steve. And what I have to say here is that character just wouldn't work as a move set. And top it all off, Banjo's more hype. Banjo's cooler. Like, I'm sorry, but Banjo is super hype. And you guys might say, yeah, but it was predictable. If you were watching the direct and they showed the Dragon Quest characters first, you might think Banjo might not happen. And I was already about to say Banjo is probably still happening, but might have to wait till the Game Awards. No, Banjo's here, baby. Banjo's fucking here. So yeah, and now we have three characters of our five characters for our fighter pass, meaning that the next we're only two characters left. One will probably be shown at Evo, and one will probably be shown at the Game Awards. So, who they will be, I don't know. And if they did a different Microsoft character like Master Chief instead of a Namco character at the end, that would be really fucking hype. But I think that the last character will be kind of like the fizzly, like last one that people don't care about as much. And I think that Leon would be a fucking fantastic DLC character. So I'm really hoping we get Resident Evil representation, and that's what I'm hoping for. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I cannot complain because there's so many good characters in Smash. There's so many good characters that come with the game. So many good characters that are already included as DLC. If you're bitching and complaining about the characters, then you are a little baby bitch. I'm sorry, but you are. You're a little bitch. You're a little bitch. Do not bitch about the characters. Do not complain about the characters. Please. Enjoy the game or shut the fuck up. Like, enjoy the game, please. So, looking good. Looking good. Yeah. Please, I know I don't want to, like, encourage people to not complain and to talk back about certain things. Uh, but, all I want to say here is that when the game is so packed with content and there's like almost 80 characters in the game, there's like almost 75 characters now. And when you count all the skins for Dragon Quest and all the music for Persona and all the love being put for Castlevania, like how entitled do you have to be? Like, look at all the content in the game. Look at how much love it's packed into it. It's got something for everyone. And if you don't love every character, well, big fucking deal because someone else does. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's wrong to complain and stand up for yourself when games do stupid shit, but to complain about this because it's not personally tailored to you, that is just so entitled and whitey. Like, I don't care. I don't give a shit who the fuck you are. I really don't. You know, like, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't even care that much about Dragon Quest, and I don't even care that much about Banjo, but I'm very happy for those fans. And the characters look great, and I'm gonna play them. I'm gonna play them. So, hell fucking yeah to that. So, that's all I'm saying, guys. So, anyway, video's gone on too long now, but I like to always ramble and put extra stupid bullshit at the end for no fucking reason. These videos aren't monetized. Don't think I'm doing this as some big scheme. Don't worry about that. I'm just doing this for fun, and I like to put rambly stuff at the end so people can get some other more personal stuff if they stick around through the whole thing. So I'm gonna end the video here. You know me, I like making these long form videos on purpose. Even if people don't want to watch them because of that. I don't care. Um, it's more about what I want to do, and I want my audience to be people who understand that. And my audience right now is like 5 people. So, um, I'm gonna end this video here. Yeah, very, very, very hyped for these characters and Super Smash Brothers in general. The game just never fails, in my opinion. It just keeps delivering, looking good. And at the end of the day, I'm just gonna play my mains I already have anyway. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna end this video finally here, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.